Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Our speaker today is Viney Mosley, and she is here with Levi's Children's Charity. Specifically today we're going to be talking about Levi's Adventure Trail, which is an ongoing project. If you're not familiar with it, you will be after today. This is a project kind of close to my heart. I didn't really know Viney or Ellie or anything about Levi until after my son was born. And on my son's first birthday, my wife said, you know, he doesn't care and he's got so much crap, let's just have people donate and we'll donate to something. And she suggested Levi's Adventure Trail, which I didn't know anything about. So we did that, and it was cool. And I told Viney and Ellie, Levi's mom, I said, well, if there's anything I can do for you, let me know. And then they found out that I work at a website company. So 6 months later, we had, you know, Levi's Adventure Trail's website, levisadventuretrail.com. And then I've since become more and more involved with it on the marketing side and things like that. And it's something I'm very passionate about, so I'm glad that you guys are here today to hear more about it. Real quick too, there are postcards there on the table, and she'll touch on this as well, but Tuesday the 18th, we will be having the groundbreaking for Levi's Adventure Trail down at Discovery Playhouse. I invite you guys to come. It's at 11:30. It's kind of a poignant moment and a milestone here in the progress of things for Levi's Adventure Trail. So even if you can't make it, take the postcard with you, take it back to your office or whatever, and give it to somebody else who might be interested as well. So spread the word. And now, Viney Mosley.
Yeah, 2 years ago today, I got a call, and it was from Levi. He was 3.5 years old, and he was so excited because he was with his mom and dad at Current River. And his sister Victoria, who's 12 now, was with me. And he was so proud because he was there and she wasn't, because he was the smaller brother and everything had always been Victoria's. So that was the last time I ever talked to Levi. He died 36 hours later. His death there's been no cause of death yet. It's called sudden unexplained death in childhood. Levi was 3.5, and that's a name they give to a sudden death of a child that is with no explanation, who is 12 months to 5 years. You're familiar with SIDS, and that is from birth to 12 months. And I was, I guess, shocked, and when we realized that there was no central database in the United States of America to report a death from SIDS or SUDC. And there's legislation now in the Congress and House of Representatives. There are bills, of course, I have the volume of stuff. But anyway, things are moving in the right direction. There's wonderful organizations out there that has supported us called SuddenSUDC.org, and they've been a huge support. They support research for SUDC, and they are part of the SIDS the foundation that supports SIDS research. So that's a bad thing that we found out. Actually, 36 hours after I talked to Levi was the call I got from my daughter that changed my life forever. I never thought 2 years ago that I'd be standing here today talking to you about my grandson passing away at 3.5, or that I would be taking a project like Levi's Adventure Trail and bringing it to fruition because of Levi loved the Discovery Playhouse. That was our spot. When he was with me, we were there. And so my children had never been to the Discovery Playhouse. So the day he died, you know, the next day we all had to get together to plan his funeral. And I mentioned to the children that perhaps we could set a fund up and collect money to make a memorial, something for Levi at Discovery Playhouse. Well, you know, we just got on the phone, called the local bank in Sykeston, and had the account set up. And within 2 weeks, we had received $10,000. And then we had phone friends that started raising money and donating to Levi's Adventure Trail. And this year, we have applied for an IRS 501(c) for Levi's Children's Charity. And what we've learned through this whole process is there's other things that need to happen in Cape Girardeau or in the southeast region, because all kids aren't able to go to Discovery Playhouse. They all can't afford to pay $5 to go. So one of the projects that Darren helps us with is called Celebration of Life. And that's where we have free events at Discovery Playhouse. So we're trying to bridge the gaps. But if you've ever driven behind Discovery Playhouse, you'll notice that it's a very, oh, I did not. This is Levi when we were at Discovery Playhouse, and those were some of his favorite little things to do. And here's a concept drawing. You wonder why it looks like this. Well, one of the things, you'll see here's the river feature, and there's a camper, and kids climbing around. Levi liked to go to, we all camp at Current River. Can you see me camping? Yes, I do. But actually, I have like a camper. It looks like this. It's called Mimi's Camper. And that's the camper that you can go into and do whatever. You can drink Kool-Aid or whatever. That's Mimi's Camper. So the concept is to take kids outside. A lot of times people are they're on computers or they're not playing outside enough. And at the river, Levi always liked, they played with little boats and stuff in the river. This is the current lot. I think it could take some improvement, don't you? This is the lot behind the Discovery Playhouse. So where's my little pointer? Oh, there it is. And there's the building. See this? We intend to try to paint this building so it'll look like a make-believe play area. And here's an architect's rendering. This pavilion right here is going to be built. It's our first phase is going to be right there. We have the materials donated by Morley Building Supply. And Scott and Jerry McClanahan are going to help build that. They don't know that yet, but they will. So is Sam Essner. He doesn't know that either.
It's going to take younger people.
Yeah. Well, Scott's younger. Anyway, you can supervise. Jerry Mack will supervise. Anyway, that pavilion, the material's been donated for it. And so if we were sitting in the pavilion, you could see on both sides of you'd have views of the whole area. This looks like a bunch of little things, but if you'll notice over here, you've seen these huge rocks. This whole area is going to be called, it's a Rocks and Ropes Adventure Trail. So it will depict like you're climbing, out in the woods. This is the pavilion is the first phase. You see it says phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3. We're going to do all 3 phases this year, and they'll be done by the end of the year. We have raised the money for this part right here. We've raised $105,000. The total project is $375,000. We've also had labor donated. The concrete labor has been donated. We have all the electrical has been donated by High Tech Communications. So that's kind of how we're offsetting it. Most of the money goes to the play equipment. So we've actually we need another $185,000 to finish the entire project. After we finish this project, another thing we'll do is continue to maintain the project. And we've had good results from some clubs and organizations that have wished to help us do that, like little projects. This is kind of the concept of what I hope it looks like. We have the stuff that'll be, the barrier stuff is going to be a mulch, but it'll be that plastic mulch. But here's the river feature that we are going to put in there. It's going to be a stamped concrete feature, and it'll have a little water in it. Here's a picture of what one of the rocks and ropes looks like. This is actually the last phase, is where the big rocks are, and they're connected by, here's one. They're called mammoths. These things they're made out of concrete, so it's called polycrete. And they come on big cranes, have to put them down on a foundation. And the foundation's 8 inches thick. So we've got all that taken care of. We just need to be able to buy the rocks. Here's another one. So this little canoe has already been donated. Somebody's already paid for that. And here's some, this is really like little boy stuff, but little girls like to do these things too. And see here, Jerry Mack, there you are, helping your granddaughter. So what we're doing now is, we're asking our communities in Sykeston and Cape Girardeau to get involved in this project. It's going to improve a terrible lot in Cape Girardeau. It's going to bring a 10,000 square foot additional play area to the Discovery Playhouse. And what I'm asking you all to consider is to sponsor a section of the playground, or to host a fundraising event, or volunteer to help us with an event, or lend a hand to build it or upkeep it. I mean, if that's not your deal, then maybe you know somebody that's got concrete or fencing and can help offset some of the expenses. Or go tell somebody. This is a community build project. Instead of paying somebody else to come in and do the project, we have a team of volunteers that I've got the list somewhere. Vince Kelly is our general contractor, and he is donating his time to do that. He's done all the estimates. We know exactly what's got to go where. We have Chris Beery with Bowen Engineering is our civil engineer. Pam Davidson with Keystone has volunteered to do the pavilion blueprints. So we've got all the right people, and like I said, we have other people involved too, like High Tech Communications is doing all the electrical. We're going to do LED lighting outside. Oh, we are looking for plumbing right now. It sounds kind of funny, but that's how we're working this project. We they're drawing the specs right now for the plumbing and the electrical, so the city will approve it. So then once that's done, we're going to be looking for plumber people and materials to do that section. And those people volunteering to do that are donating materials. I mean, it chunks off $10,000, $10,000 here and there, so it sounds like a lot of money when you think about it, but if it's just some time and some stuff laying around in your garage, well, it's not that big, it's not that hard. You just have to ask a lot of people. Here's some little children in the neighborhood. Last year, April 6th, we had an event called Seek and Snap, Treasures and Trash, because we cleaned up the lot physically, and then these little kids in the neighborhood started coming over to see what we were doing. Well, that afternoon, we were going to have like a scavenger hunt, and it was a lot of fun. We had families that came. Well, these little children have never been to Discovery Playhouse. But they were the sweetest little kids, and they brought their moms that afternoon, and they participated in this project. And so that brought our awareness as an organization to the fact that we needed to connect the children that don't get to go. And that's how we developed the Celebration of Life. And we reached out to organizations, the Foster Home in Jackson, and Head Start. We actually physically and personally bring those folks in. Of course, the whole community can come too. Here's some people I've already mentioned that have been involved in our project. I think Darren did that. That's new. Thank you, Darren. Once again, Tuesday is our groundbreaking. that's the day Levi died 2 years ago. He was pronounced dead at Cardinal Glennon Hospital. And all I can say, it was a horrible day for us, and it was a horrible year. So I hope none of you ever have to go through that. But what has what's really helped is I never used to know or never really paid attention to things that happen around me. It seemed like I was always trying to get something done, but I never appreciated as much as things like serendipity or celestine moments, where everything comes together, or people enter your lives, like Darren, out of just nowhere, right when we were looking to look for somebody to build a website. And then we'll do something else, or we'll say something, and then that person comes into our group or our organizations to help us along. I cannot tell you that the feeling that has helped. I mean, it is God's grace. It's God's hand, and He's moving us in that direction. And I appreciate that. And I appreciate the community and the people that are willing to help us in just whatever they can or whoever they know. And we're going to build the playground. It's going to happen, and it's going to happen before the end of 2015. This is my daughter, Ellie, and Victoria, and Levi. And this picture was taken, and Glenn, I forgot Glenn now. This was taken about 3 weeks before Levi died at my house on the front porch. And I'm sure they look just like your kids and happy so just enjoy every moment you have with your families. Don't say you're going to put something off or try to hurry through something. Just please enjoy your time with them. Here's a picture of Levi's little kindergarten class. They planted a tree for Levi, and that's just a picture of them. And here's a picture of our Celebration of Life event at the Discovery Playhouse. We brought in crafts and food. Darren cooked hot dogs, and it was a big deal. We had games and tents, and the kids came, and we had a big time. And this is Levi's Adventure Crew. See back here? This concept came about because Levi always called things his superpowers. He meant superheroes. He called them his superpowers. So as we were building Levi's Adventure Trail, Red Letter Communication creative department were helping us through this concept of how do we incorporate superheroes with an adventure trail. And what they did was they created these characters to come to life and to give good messages to children, whether it's, pick up litter or be nice to your friends. There'll be motivational messages for children throughout the trail. It might even be where you push a button and somebody tells it to you, just like Disney. But this float, it was Darren's idea of all things. Oh, yeah, I'll put a float in a Christmas parade. Oh, yeah, right. So it came together, and because of Darren and Jody Freeman, we did it, and we won first place, and it didn't cost anything. Everything was donated. The fellow donated these banners, and Darren brought the thing and the lights, and Jody made the costumes, and it was one of those celestine moments where it all came together. So that's my message today, is to please get involved however you feel like you can personally as an organization. But it's going to be a great project. Yes, sir.
Will the outside area, when it's finished, will somebody need to go through the Discovery Playhouse?
Yes, they'll have to go through. There'll be a fence all around it. We'll have privacy wooden fencing on part of it, and then the other part will have decorative iron fencing is what we want to use on a concrete curbing thing, but it'll be 8 feet tall. But that's another, if you all know anybody that does fencing, that's another section we need. Not 180 feet, linear feet, iron fencing. But that's how we've been doing it. We got our estimates last year, and we just go down the little track, you know, and last week we got the electrical, somebody, high-tech communications, that says he'll do all the electrical. And today, Ameren UE is going to actually move a pole for us. And there's things that are coming together. There's also a property right behind Discovery Playhouse that is a condemned house that was foreclosed by Fannie Mae. And they have till March 21st, Fannie Mae does, to bring that house up to code. Or the city hopefully will step in. And our goal is that we get that lot and turn it into a parking lot. So the children at Discovery Playhouse, that come visit Discovery Playhouse, don't have to walk across the street. So that's kind of our hope. So if you have any ability to push that along, please do so. So I don't know. I talked to John Welsh today. He's retired from the city inspector. Does anybody know John Welsh? He called it something, some kind of circle. A circle, it's a circle of something he called it. Joke circle, where it's always somebody else's job to get it done. But we're going to make that happen. And I don't know how, but it'll happen. We'll get that lot, and we're going to make a parking lot out of it. So, is there any questions? Now I want you to know, it's just not this grandma standing here. We have committees of people. So sometimes I think people look at me and they think, this one little woman's going to do this, but that's not the case.